You invested in X.com that eventually merged with PayPal. That's a fascinating story there. Also fascinating on many levels, including the fact that the current social media company, formerly known as Twitter, is now called X. There's a history, has a rhyme to it. Like
Sure.
It's kind of all hilarious in a certain kind of way. You invested in and helped sell a lot of the initial products for Tesla.
Yeah, I still sit on the board of Tesla. Tesla is 20 years now. Isn't that
20
amazing?
years.
Yeah.
From the Roadster, the initial Roadster to...
I still have the first business plan. So I didn't join as a founder. I joined as a founding board member.
Mhm.
And so I didn't write the business plan. I got to read it, and I still have that. I still have it as a part of history.
Did you see the future at that time? Like the company that Tesla is today, could you and Elon imagine it?
No, I certainly didn't. What I saw in it was a real, for me personally, I was really upset that the General Motors had killed their EV car. There's even a movie called "Who Killed the Electric Car," and I knew that the physics of electric is perfectly fine. I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't use an electric car to drive around. What resonated with me with the business plan was take an electric motor, which is really a high performance motor, and put it in a sports car and sell it at a high price as a way to enter into the market.
Mhm.
Whereas what others had been doing, or at least General Motors had done, is you put it into a really crummy car and you sell it as a commuter vehicle that doesn't really work that well and looks ugly as well. Like they really did everything they could to make that thing as ugly as sin. And then I was like, oh, okay, I get it. We're going to take an appropriate technology and put it in an appropriate car, so that when you have, because electric motors they have constant torque, you get incredible power. Put it in a car that looks like a sports car, So the idea was to put it in the Lotus Elise, redesign it a bit. I even at that point I was like, this is theoretically good, so I'm going to join and help build it. But I was not convinced that it would work because General Motors had done such a terrible job of making everyone think that these things are terrible. But I was curious, and the time that I fell in love with the company and its mission was, I was driving in a what's called a mule, where we take a car and we take the engine out and we put in electric drivetrain. And I drove it. Even the dashboard. There's no dashboard. It's just like you got a steering wheel, and it's just like wires and everything around. And I remember there's a street we were on in the Bay Area called Bing Street, and I was just like, no traffic. So I'm just gonna drive this. I'm gonna floor it, see what happens. And it was a feeling I'd never experienced before. So it's not, gasoline cars have an inertia to them. So you go,
Yeah.
this is just, it was like being shot out of a cannon. And I, okay, this is going to be real.
It's a very spaceship-like feeling.
Yeah. It's like, whoa. It's like the G-force pulls you back.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is going to be great. This is going to be an interesting, we're going to create something interesting here. I think the real transformative thing for Tesla was the Model 3, when we were able to get the price down for the world.
And that was also one of the most challenging periods for Tesla.
And do or die. Personally. I mean, we were borderline bankrupt like 2 or 3 times that year. I mean, it was just everyone was hating on us about whether we'd get that done. The Model 3 today is incredibly affordable car, like a $300 a month kind of lease and $3,000 down. That's where you get the scale. That's where you get people who, and by the way, it's a great car. It's even a better Model 3 now than it was 5 years ago. We don't function the way car companies function, right? We function more like how an iPhone company, how Apple works. So our Model 3 today this year is better than last year. It's way better, and and we just keep getting better.
Yeah, and the software is a fundamental part of the car, and the software keeps improving.
Exactly, and we can upload over the air,
which was one of the things that people don't often acknowledge. It's the over the air updates.
Yeah.
It's like a revolutionary thing.
Yes,
it's not just the autopilot. to me, it's like the over-the-air updates is even bigger thing than the autopilot, at least in this like moment of history, because you basically turned the car into the iPhone.
Exactly, it's an iPhone with wheels. But actually, talking about autopilot, like right after this interview, I'm going to go test out the latest Model 3.
You're going to get driven around by a robot.
I'm going to get driven around by the car. I'm going to say, I want to go to this barbecue joint. Take me there and park me there. And I'm going to see how it is. And this is the latest Model 3 that we have out into production. Anyone can buy it. And it's super affordable. And it's like, okay, it's not, full self-driving is a journey, right? It's not like there's a destination. It's a journey forever. So let's see where we are on the journey today.
And there's been a bit of a push and pull between you and Elon in terms of levels of optimism about deadlines and so on, timelines, about when we'll arrive at the destination. I like that you said it's a journey.
Yeah.
For Elon, there's a destination. I think.
Right, exactly.
And that destination is tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Or yesterday.
I think that's a really good insight. I actually live with this concept of a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And it's a philosophical term where fixed mindset is about the destination. And a growth mindset is about learning on the journey. And I think that I'm a happier person because I take that learning on the journey approach, whereas it's really frustrating if you're always, it has to be about the destination every time.
The nice thing about destination, at least from my personal perspective as like a programmer and engineer, is like it puts a little fire under you to get shit done. Like if there's a clear deadline of a destination, you feel the anxiety of that.
I would say that I still do that, but I call those forcing functions instead of destinations.
Sure. Because
you're just forcing people to crank on some code or cookbook or whatever because you have a date. And if you're really, and sometimes there's a reason. I mean, it's 20th anniversary, you wanted to get the cookbook out. We have a reason. We didn't make this up out of thin air. And so that does push you. But just because we have the cookbook doesn't mean it's a destination. It means it was a forcing function to get it out there. Now we're on the journey.